What's going on, y'all? It's your boy at Barberchair Scott here at Soldier Field right after the Bears' first preseason game of the season, where they ends in a tie. Soccer rules today, 24-24 with the Miami Dolphins. Man, this is your 79th in Hallis, and I'm not going to hold you. Post-game report, one of many. We'll be doing these every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Either be me or be me and Joe. Regardless, we're here. Anyway, 24-24 game at a very hot. I felt like it was 100 degrees out here. Now, I had the pleasure of being in the press box and was blessed with air conditioning, so it wasn't too much of a factor for me today. But for these fans here, I know that there was probably a lot of hydration going on because it was hot as hell. But anyway, I think a pretty decent showing for this team. I mean, of course, you always want to win. Nobody likes draws, not even in soccer. But, you know, I thought this was a pretty good showing. Tyson Bagent started the game. He went 13-19 with 103 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Of course, we know Caleb Williams and the starters did not play today, but they did have a 90-minute throwing session with Caleb and DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Cole Kmet, a lot of his pass catchers. Ben Johnson also gave his thoughts on the tie, how he felt in his unofficial debut. If you see some water in the background, that's spraying the field right now, but it's hot as hell outside, so I really don't care if it hits me. But yeah, so let's see what Ben Johnson had to say about ending this game in a tie.
You know, it's kind of hard to assess the feeling in the locker room on a tie like that. Those guys went out there and they laid it out. You know, well, all those guys that were active, they did a great job going out there and competing. You know, you just don't know how to feel when it ends up being 24-24. It doesn't matter preseason or not.
Even though the starters did not play, there was a lot of things, in my opinion, to look at. Let's talk about the quarterback battle for QB number 2 first. Tyson Bagent. I thought what we saw from Tyson Bagent was decent. I don't think it was anything that was great, obviously, but I thought for somebody who came out here and, like he said, it's the most he's played in a preseason game. Of course, we know he played a couple games. I'm going to move over here while I'm talking. But, of course, we know he played a couple games 2 years ago in his rookie season when Justin Fields got hurt. But this is the first he's played an entire half in the preseason. And he said this is, had a real good time. So, there was some missed passes, a very rough start for him as well. But I think you kind of got to be somewhat pleased with what you saw from Tyson Bagent today. So let's get a little bit of what Tyson said.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I haven't gotten to play a full half in preseason since I've been here, so that was a lot of fun. I think the only unfun part was just the start that we had. I think we got to a little bit of a slow start. It kind of hit the ground running in the second quarter, but it was definitely as exciting as ever to be out there.
Let's go on to Case Keenum. Case Keenum also played that. He played in the second half. Case Keenum, he had 2 touchdowns. One to Ja'Day Walker, and Ja'Day had a great touchdown celebration with that as well. And he just really looked confident as well as out there too. And, Ben Johnson said that even though this game doesn't count, it still does matter. So let's see a little bit about what Case Keenum had to say about Ben Johnson and also this offense, which I've been telling Bears fans is a very difficult thing to grasp. So let's see what Case Keenum had to say.
I know it was preseason, but man, throwing touchdowns and celebrating with your teammates, that's what it's all about. It's so fun. I'm so proud of him. All those guys out there that I was playing with, so I thought those guys battled well and put some good stuff on tape, and it was a lot of fun to play.
I thought that was very important for Case. Case has been in the league over a decade, and if you got somebody who was won playoff games, who was a veteran who's saying this stuff, I don't think you should expect the second-year guy to come out here and just understand all this shit in, just a couple months and just 3 weeks of training camp. So patience, like I said a couple days ago. But in my personal opinion, I think Case Keenum should be QB number 2. And I'm not just going off this game, obviously. Both him and Tyson had some good throws, had some bad throws. But if, God forbid, Caleb misses 2 to 4 games, I trust Case Keenum to hold the fort down. He's a veteran. He's somebody who's been in this league for a long time. He's a guy who's won playoff games. And to me, I think he has more of a knowledge of this system than a Tyson Bagent does. So we'll see how this goes. It wouldn't shock me if Tyson's number 2, but we're a long way from that. None of the starters played on defense except for Tyreek Stevenson. And some of you fans out there said, oh, it's because he got in a dust up in the joint practice on Friday. Ben Johnson said that was not the case. The plan was for Tyreek to play regardless. Only played like, I think, 1 or 2 series before he came off the field and joined the rest of the starters on the bench. But Austin Booker, the second-year guy from Kansas who was drafted by Ryan Poles last year, had a really great game today. 2 sacks and a fumble strip, peanut punch type joint. Could have had 3. Let's see what Austin Booker had to say about his performance and what he wants to take into this next season.
I just took it, looked in the mirror and improved myself, and just came back and did what it is.
You had a really good preseason last year as well. Why do you think it will translate more into the regular season this year, if that's your thought process on it?
No, I mean, I'm just going to take what Swiss gave to me and just keep going out there whenever I can and do as much as I can, play as hard as I can. So I'll just leave it at that.
You've got some veterans in front.
Overall, man, I thought this was a pretty good day, pretty solid day for the beloved. Now, the Bears will practice tomorrow at 3:30. That's a late practice. Ben said they're going to get some good work in there. I will not be there, and the reason I will not be there is because 3:30. I don't know if you live in Chicago, Illinois, or been to Chicago, Illinois. That's the worst time you can be on the freeway. So I will not be there. I will not be there. And Tuesday, they have an off day, but I will be there for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And they've got another joint practice on Friday, as the NFL MVP Joshua Allen and the Buffalo Bills will be in town for a joint practice on Friday before their meeting right here next Sunday night, a night preseason game. Can you remember the last time they've had a night preseason game here against the Bills? And Ben Johnson said he isn't decided yet on if the starters will play. Just my personal opinion, I have nobody telling me this, I think they will play. I got a feeling that this is part of his plan, and I think that they will play next week. So interested to see how that goes, man. But that is all I've got for y'all for the recap. But that is not all. Me and J.R. Bain will be going live for 79th and Hallis tonight as soon as I get back to the recording studio. So yeah, that should be around 5:15ish, 5:30ish Central Time. We're going to go live and we're going to talk about this game in full detail, man. So it's your boy at Barberchair Scott. Follow me at Barberchair Scott on all social media platforms. 79th and Hallis. I'm not going to hold you. Barber's Chair, H&B Media. We up out here.